Hello viewers, tutorial 10 question 2, and we're solving two trig equations. So we're asked to give all solutions between 0 and 360 degrees. That tells us that we should be working in degrees, and therefore in the formula the pi should be replaced with 180. So pi becomes 180 in the formula if we're working in degrees. Okay, we also notice that inside this bracket here we only have an x. We don't have anything more complicated like say 2x minus 1, so we don't need to worry about a w here. And also when we get to doing the table we will only need 3 columns as opposed to the usual 4, so it's going to make life a little bit easier for us in that respect. So the first thing we need to do is to divide both sides by 6, so we get sine of x equals the square root of 27 divided by 6. So therefore if we solve that for x we need to take the inverse sine of both sides. We get x is the inverse sine of square root of 27 over 6, which is going to be, when we calculate that, we'll get theta, and when we do the calculation we get 60 degrees. Okay, so we've got our value of theta and we're ready to use our table. So we only need, as we said, 3 columns. So we need a column for n, we need a column for x with working, and we need a column for x with the answer. Okay, so for n equals 0, if we put n equals 0 into this thing, we'll get 180 times 0, which is 0, plus negative 1 to the n, which is negative 1 to the 0, which is 1, times theta, which is going to be 60. So we get a first answer of 60 degrees. For n equals 1, we get n times 180 is 180 times 1 is 180, plus minus 1 to the power of 1 times 60. If we calculate that we get 120. For n equals 2, we get n is 2 times 180 is 360, plus minus 1 to the power of 2 times 60, which is 420. So we can tell immediately that this solution is too big. So we've got two solutions within range so far. We've got 60 degrees and 120 degrees. Let's see if we've got anything between 0 and 60 degrees. So let's backtrack to negative 1. So if we put in n equals negative 1, we get negative 1 times 180 is negative 180, plus negative 1 to the negative 1 times 60. So what do we get there? We get negative 240, which is way too small. Okay, so we've got two solutions between 60 and 120. So we've solved 6 sine of x equals square root of 27. Now let's solve tan of x equals half. So we need to take the inverse tan of both sides, so we get x equals tan inverse of 1/2. When we calculate that we'll get our theta, which is 26.6. Okay, so we've got theta, we're already ready for our table. So we've got n, we've got x with the working, and we've got x as an answer. Okay, so for n equals 0, so you've got n times 180 is 0 times 180, which is 0, plus theta, which is 26.6. So we get an answer of 26.6 there. For n equals 1, we get 1 times 180 plus theta, so that's 180 plus theta is 26.6. Calculating that we get 206.6. For n equals 2, 2 times 180 is 360 plus 26.6, so we get that will be 386.6. which is over 360, so that solution is too big. Now let's go back to the n equals -1 to make sure that we don't have any solutions between 0 and 26. So if n is -1, this is going to be 180 times -1 is -180 plus 26.6, and we can see that that's going to be way negative. That will be negative 153.4, which is way too small. So it's the only solutions of interest are 26.6 and 206.6. Okay, thanks for watching. Over and out.